does, but I'm fine without it. It's not too bad.
Are we doing the pregame the same way as last time?
I don't think so. Well, the pregame after the ceremony, yeah.
Last time?
What's that?
Last time, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it cool that if I put my laptop here, if I switch this?
Yeah, I can switch it to you.
We welcome you inside Boca Ice Center, where the national champion Florida Atlantic Owls begin their season with a rival from the north in the Florida Gators. Hi, everybody. Devin Serra alongside Wesley Moore for you here from the balcony vantage point, and two sides west that have a history. Florida was the national champions in 2024. FAU takes the crown finally in 25, and you couldn't ask for a better way to start this season.
Yeah, this game's going to be an absolute shootout. The crowd is hype. The atmosphere is electric. We're all ready. Last season, the last game of the year, regular season game, FAU lost 4-1 at Florida's home. Then going in, they get upset in the College Hockey South Conference tournament. Then we're thinking, we don't know if this is a team that will be the national championship team. But they prove everybody wrong. They prove themselves right and go and win a national championship. But the year before that, Florida, University of Florida, won a national championship as well. So to start the regular season for M2 hockey in the ACHA, we're looking at the last two national championship winners.
And how about that? One of the guys that was very important, David Israel, in house tonight for the ceremony that just took place on the ice. And They're going to have a banner raising at some point. We'll have to get a vantage point for you here. But it's a new year and two sides that have very different rosters now. Florida Atlantic changed over with a lot of guys, and many of them came up from the men's 3 team, which means that Christian Long, their head coach, mentioned it's a team that has to see people step up.
Yeah, it's a new season, which means a new team. They're going to need a lot of new players to step up. Their number 1 scorer last year, Brady Bezier, 46 points on the year. He's still here, but 2 through 7 in scoring on the FAU Owls are all gone. The next is their captain, Leon Biller, with 19 points, 8th on that team. But the 2 big main guys that we're going to look at is from the M3 team last year, Aiden Georgiano, a captain, one of the best players on the M3 team last year. And we're also going to look at Christian Cuccia. He's the reigning M3 player of the year. He had 20 to 30 more points than the next player below him in total points that year.
Yeah, a really epitomal guy in that M3 run, which saw them in the M2 tournament as well, but now he goes up to the main team in M2 to begin the year. And taking a look at both sides on the FAU things, of course, reigning national champions, they dominated their way through the regular season. A 93 goal differential for them in the regular season, and then they outscored opponents 35-7 in that national tournament. Just absolutely insane numbers. But you look at who they bring in, like you said, a lot of new members that are taking on a new challenge for them.
Yeah, they're bringing in 9 new members to this 2025-2026 team. It's honestly a really super talented class from guys in Null, from guys in juniors. They're bringing in guys with championship experience from when they were playing in their youth. It's going to be a really fun team to watch this year.
No doubt, and they've got some great leadership to go behind it. Leon Biller, the returning captain, gets to be there, and they've got Anthony Campagne, who was the captain for M3 last year. Taking a look on the Florida side things, Frank Pasquale's group, we mentioned the national championship. They had a bit of a rocky road last year, 10-12 on the season. They squeaked into the national tournament, got a win in that tournament. It seems like they are in a revival, and they've got some experience with their group.
Yeah, last year they upset Tennessee at the Nationals, but then again, as you said, they struggled against those higher opponents, the teams that are going to be a little bit harder to beat, the teams that you need to prove yourself against. But they have an experienced group that's coming back. Some of the notable additions that are Fortesque, Terry, Marze, some of those players that are going to be fun to watch as well this season.
They've gotten off to a good start. They are 2-0 on the year, and they're trying to parlay that into another one against their rivals in Florida Atlantic. This series history you talked about, 4-1 last year, Florida won in the final regular season game. At that time, Florida was an M1 team, and FAU was an M2 team, but it all comes full circle, and they're both back in M2 together this year, part of a 3-team conference. Some other games going on around the country. Tampa, the other M2 team, is raising their men's 1 national championship from AAU. They take on South Carolina, also a former College Hockey South team that won a national championship a few years ago. That one takes place at 8:30 p.m. from Clearwater Ice Arena. We'll preview some of the M3 games later on in this broadcast. And later tonight, Florida Atlantic's M3 team takes on Georgia Tech, who is an M2 team from the ACCHL this year. All right, time to get to your impact players for this game. Wes, starting with FAU, who do you look at as to be the benefactor in this opener?
I think that the benefactors that are going to I think that the players that are going to help this team the most are going to be the returning players that bring back that experience, the national champion experience, starting off with Rocco Bruno. Easily probably one of the best goalkeepers in College Hockey South last year. He trained with Patrick Kane over the summer. You talked about it on your podcast. Really interesting stuff. He's going to come back better. Also, Jake Murphy is going to be a great player this year. He's going to need to step up, and this team's going to have another national championship trip as well. Daniel Tobe and Leon Biller, their captains, both returning players, going to need to step up.
Those are some big names and players like Rocco that are staples in the FAU program now. It's going to be a test. On the Florida side of things, you talked about Michael McCoy and others, but that band of group needs to play well against an FAU group that got it done. So for FAU in this one, your keys to the game, what do they have to do to keep this crowd rowdy and get a win over their rivals?
Play fast and score. That's the two biggest things that people want to see when they're watching, and it's the number one thing that you don't want to play against. When a team is playing fast and they're playing faster than you and controlled, they're going to score as much as they can. The crowd is going to be really hyped. You don't want that to happen. Florida needs to limit that. FAU needs to go and do that.
You know, I heard something earlier this week that whoever wins the middle is going to come out of this game on the better end. So be sure to see how this one unfolds. You couldn't ask for a better start to the season. It's the reigning national champion, Florida Atlantic. It's their arch rival, Florida. We've got it for you next here on FAU TV. Don't go anywhere as we will start this 25-26 campaign. Do you want us to talk over the ceremony at all? I can if you need. I don't know. So they might just be doing starting lineups now. I thought they had more going on, but I guess they don't. Oh, they already did it. Okay, they already did it. All right, so we're national anthem and we're going. This is the game. Me too. I know. That whole thing was not true. Like whatever they talked about. Yeah. Okay. It's not fun, dude.
I'm not live. What's up, bro? We not on yet, I don't think. That's so sick.
a shot of the guitarist if you want.
An awesome national anthem given here for the season opener and the national champion Florida Atlantic University Owls. Let's set the field for you. The goaltenders tonight for the visitor Florida Gators. Connor Lee, the junior out of Canton, Ohio. 15 games last year, 6-8-0 record. Had a .503 goals against average and a .866 save percentage. Your Florida Atlantic goaltender, Rocco Bruno, the two-time and reigning goaltender of the year. Hailing from Springfield, Pennsylvania. He'll lead this group with a record of 10-4-0 last year, 2.91 goals against average, .889, and only allowed 7 goals in the national tournament last year. All right, some of the starters we'll get to in a moment here, but you talked about it, some keys. A lot of people in this raucous environment. FAU, crucial that they get a start because Florida's already had 2 games under their belt.
Yeah. Florida's already starting with, as you said, 2 games under their belt. This is FAU's first game. This is the first chance we get to see Florida Atlantic hockey and see what they're going to be as a team. There's a lot of new players this year, 9 new players, and a lot of the scoring from last year, they still have their number 1 scorer. But there's a lot of new players. This is who needs to step up for this season.
It's a Hockey House game to watch. It's a College Hockey South game to watch. And we're ready to go from the new home for your Florida Atlantic Owls at Boca Ice Center. At center, digging in for the draw, newcomer Blaze Pepe. And we start off this 25-26 campaign. Nick Oliverio, part of that national championship team, flips it into the neutral zone. He got it back and lightly tapped it back to the opposite defenseman. Starting out there for the Gators at defense, Owen Wavada, along with his help in Noah Horwitz. Liam Linkeshwa slammed to the boards on the far end of the ice. Coming to retrieve it out through the defensive zone. FAU caught up to it. Emilio Stabile, lead pass doesn't connect. A little bit of temporary numbers as well for this FAU group here tonight. This one's under the skates of Nick Oliverio, a new alternate captain this year for your M2 Owls. He'll fight for it and dig in the half-board corner. A scrum ensues. Stabile finds some open room. Got it knifed away, taken out, and the Gators can't hold the zone, so they will retreat. Backpedaling is Zach Selmansky. Tried to forward it for Linkeshwa, and it hit a part of the bench area, and that will give our first stoppage of the game.
And you can see right off the bat how much this game means for both these teams. They're both one of 3 teams in their conference in College Hockey South. They both want to win this game.
Yeah, this is a matchup that we'll see a lot of this year. These teams will play each other as many as 6 times on the season, Wes, because they're both M2 programs. There's only 3 teams in College Hockey South M2 this year. Florida, FAU, and Tampa, and they all want to qualify for regionals come February. FAU out of their own zone. Rocco Bruno, soft shot from the top of the point. Gets that one sticked aside. Turnaround by Kemley deep to the zone. This one's gathered up on the far end, trying to break out. The Owls turn it back over. Here come the Gators in for a shot attempt from a sharp angle, and Bruno knocked it away off his blocker's side. Noah Horwitz keeps the zone in, pressured by Florida and moved along further by Sully Swears. To the end board, smash. Jake Murphy gets around one defender. Cuts out, good moves to get back to the neutral zone, and Florida Atlantic finds some breathing room for some line changes. Over the line, Gators carry Evan Edwards, tried to flip one in the middle, and it went off a player, deflected out of the ice area. 18-10, Devin Serra with you and Wes Moore. The 2 teams coached by Frank Pasquale in his 3rd season for the Gators. He joins with Frank Cervasilla and Michael Paramucha. All those guys in their junior year as coaches, will say, 3rd year. And they are all national champion coaches. Brought this Florida to an upset over this FAU group as that shot whistles wide from the point. to their first national championship 2 years ago, where they upset this FAU team that were heavy favorites in the final. Jason Seefeld flipped up the near glass, now racing forward, gets past Measy, tries to go to the middle, and it was shot on but sticked by Calabrese, excuse me. Captain Leon Biller, first touch of the puck this season, gets around one defender, has an open lane, tries to get it to the middle, fluttering puck into the pads of Connor Lee for the first stoppage, and we'll see FAU with a face-off in the Gator end.
And this game started off exactly how both teams kind of wanted it to go, very fast. Not as much control, but a little bit of control on both sides, trying each of them having their chances to score.
Yeah, Florida, a benefactory of some turnovers caused in the FAU end. Get some shots on Rocco Bruno. We'll see if FAU, off this face-off win, can match a counter pressure. Far to the zone. They'll gather it underneath the legs of Finn Moore, a new coming defenseman out of Aurora, Colorado. Gators have numbers on the far side of the ice. They'll try to cut into the middle with Brian Pine. Sailed a shot over the backhand, top of the crossbar. Kept onside. Good job by Measy right there. And Katz races in after it. Biller directing traffic. Pine gets it back. Seefeld knifes in. Calabrese in there to put it on his forwarding forward. That's Keegan Lampinen, the winger out of Tampa, Florida. FAU comes back to the neutral zone with David Ross. Gets onside. He's also a newcomer, freshman. Some new faces you'll have to get used to on this FAU side and work with us. Some of these guys will not have these numbers the rest of the year, but just for this weekend, they will wear the white jerseys. Slam back into the zone. FAU just trying to get some fresh personnel out there. Christian Cuccia, the reigning Division III Player of the Year in M3. Actually, I shouldn't say reigning, as he's now an M2 player, but he had 30 more points than the next closest guy in that league. FAU gathering themselves. Henry Bonnet. And one thing head coach Christian Long in his third year told us was that he wanted to flush all four lines out there and get themselves going. So you'll see these lines start to adjust. There's a lot, both for us and you at home, you're probably going to have to get used to. Catone puts this one through a number of Florida sweaters in black and blue tonight, going from left to right. Georgiano, also one of those players that came up from M3, gives it to Tove. He's got to find room around the neutral zone. He'll dump it in. Zelmansky is back there to play the puck. It's back checked and hit by Oliverio. Falls to the ice. Tove now gets in there to help. And to free up space, some smash mouth hockey being played on here early. Stabile finished his check. Behind the net, this is Owen Wayvada. Wayvada trying to dig the puck again from the end boards. And FAU, all of this pressure, trying to force a turnover. They get it to the middle of the ice, and that one was deflected away by the winger, Michael Katz. Owen Wayvada. So good first shift for the defenseman out of Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. Back on side, Liam Likashwa, one of the important players for Florida last year in their ability to get to nationals. They won a game in that tournament to open things against Tennessee. Michael McCoy finds open ice. They'll cycle it up to the top. Shot deflected onto Bruno. Second chance, and he stopped both. Got his stick back after he dropped it for a moment. And Florida with Fortesque will go back and retreat. Rocco Bruno, good first test for him in this game. We talked about all of his accolades, a College Hockey South All-Star. Trained, as you mentioned in the pregame, with Patrick Kane in the offseason. Shot from the point. Campagne, former captain for men's 3. Defensively, Florida doing a good job hemming the zone. They had a man all alone in front with McCoy, but the puck was saucered too far away. Murphy plays this puck off the dasher glass, up and out of the zone. Jake Murphy thought about playing the puck, but Florida gives it right back as they have to get off with some tired bodies. Tommy Ziemba with the forecheck. Baser leaves it for Jake Murphy. He gets roughed up. Now back on side with the puck. Finds room to the right wing. Towards the net. Second chance opportunity, and Lee with a puck up for grabs. Made the initial stop, and I think it got redirected wide again. Swears over the line. Kemley shot high over the crossbar. The putback. 2 players whiff on it for Florida, and FAU, if they can get in transition, has open ice. Jake Murphy back on side. Gets inside, but then gets worked off the puck. Good job defensively to close him off by Jack Fortesque. 13:27 gone in this first period. Opening game for Florida Atlantic. The Gators, so we haven't had a stoppage in a while, started their year 2-0 over the Embry-Riddle Eagles, ACDC team, and their M3 squad. Behind, Calabre's turnaround shot whistles well wide of the right post. Kept along the near boards. This one is attempted a play up by Finn Moore. Lost it for a moment, now down on his feet. Two Owls lose footing. Schweers from the point. Calabre's keeps the play alive. Sharp angle shot, high stick called, and that is what will cause a whistle. And this will bring the face-off outside of the zone.
Yeah, this game has started out super aggressive. Both teams trading massive hits on both sides of the ice in the forecheck and the back check. And at the end of the day, this game is still 0-0 because of both goalkeepers, Lee and Bruno, both standing strong in their goals.
Yeah, the first redirected shot on Rocco looked pretty good. Florida Atlantic had a great chance on Connor Lee just a moment ago. And you see now a little bit of the flow getting into it. Not a whole lot of stoppage, a great pace to this game. We wondered how Florida Atlantic would look in the first 10 minutes, considering it is game number 1. But they are matching right now. Look out, here come the Gators, shot on Bruno. Blockered away, second try off the side of the goal, and we get a stoppage of play. We'll wait to see if there was a call here. Did they say the puck went out of play? There's a conversation with Nick Oliverio, alternate captain, and the head official in that corner. No minor infraction. I think the puck did go out of play. Nonetheless, draw to the right of Bruno. Dug into, Seafelt, good win. Oliverio contested, however. Stolen away by Katz. Leaves it there and help coming from Lampinen. Up to the point, shot looking for a redirection. Second try, nice right pad stop by Bruno. Another attempt from a tough angle, and he comes out to have none of that, to the applause of this FAU faithful.
This game is that close to being 1-0. Another great stop by Rocco Bruno. The training with Patrick Kane paying off.
Definitely, and you know, Florida's causing a lot of turnovers on FAU right here. They are for sure pressing, as that shot from the dots by Brian Pine is saved by Bruno. We'll do it again. And coming into this first game, you think about jitters, you think about this crowd, but I mean, that national championship experience now that they have, it seems like there's not a whole lot of moments that are going to be bigger than what they had last year. Here's Aaron Lentz. He gets onside to the left wing. Has a man in the middle. He's trying to set up Aiden Georgiano, and that puck was just behind him. I don't know if he ever saw it. This one, another flitted, almost an own goal. Oh, my goodness. I think Zelmansky put it off Connor Lee, and he had to make a right pad stop. Georgiano to the middle, and it's deflected off a skate blade from a Florida player all the way to the other end. Look out, they've got numbers. Lampinen, drop pass for Katz. He's waiting for help. Back for Lampinen. Nobody there. Pine to help in the middle, and it's pushed to the end boards. Aaron Lentz will try to fight after it, and we have a whistle from the back side of the play, and we're going to get our first call of the game. It's an elbowing, and I believe it's against Christian Cuccia. So first penalty of this game on the Owls. Florida will go to the power play. Tough start for the reigning player of the year in M3. And this penalty kill group will get our first look at. Out on the ice, they've got Blaze Pepe taking the draw. Jake Murphy to the left side of the zone. And then on the far end, you've got Emilio Stabile with Nick Oliverio. So you get some experience there in Murphy and Oliverio. The Gators start things off on a 5-on-4. Pine trying to get free from Stabile. He gets sicked away. Pine lost handle. Oliverio out of the zone, and it leads to a break. Stabile got around that defender at the point. He tries to cut inside alone. Shot on Lee. Right pad stop. Kick to the near corner. 3 Gators get in there to fish it out. They'll give it back to Wayvada, who lost control of the puck at the blue line, which led to that attempt for Stabile. First quarter of the power play over. Calabres leaves it back. Pine forwards it ahead. Wayvada over the line, gets hammered into the boards by Stabile. Gloved out of the air by Oliverio, trying to chase Pine to this puck. They'll fight one-on-one. Another big hit laid out there on the far end of the ice. FAU's got fresh changes from that kill. They'll bring out their captain, Leon Biller. Behind the goal, Jake Murphy forwarded ahead for Biller, shorthanded. Shot blockered away by Connor Lee. A great first minute of this penalty kill for the Owls. Florida still without a shot. Lampinen leaves it for McCoy. He'll backhand it along the boards. Looking for Likashwa. Likashwa gives it to Horwitz. He'll go D to D with Lampinen. Some room to work for Katz. Got a wide open lane to the left side, and the shot whistles wide by Likashwa. 22 to go in the power play, and Connor Lee will direct the puck for Noah Horwitz. So that was the first shot of the power play for for Florida, and it looks like they're going to be without a shot on goal. Terrific first kill for the Owls. Crucia out of the box in a moment. Gators, though, scoring chance with Lampinen, and Rocco has none of that.
And that power play, you can kind of see just how rapid this game is going. You see one way, Florida has a couple opportunities, no shots, but they're still putting it in there. And then Florida has a fast break, and right after that fast break, two massive hits, some of the biggest of the game we've seen in this very early game so far. You can just tell how much it means to both these teams.
There's a couple friends of mine at College Hockey South that like to use a word. Do you know what it is?
I don't know.
Say it with me. Set the
tone.
Set the tone.
Yeah.
If you know, you know out there. Shout out to some of our people, Gavin Coker, Denny Baum. They're down in Columbus right now for the third annual Columbus Classic, the women's division in College Hockey South. 8 teams this year they expanded the field to. And some great action happening in Columbus, Georgia. FAU, Nick Oliverio heads this for Aaron Lentz. Aiden Georgiano from the neutral zone. Cross ice feed for Cuccia. He has to go dump and change it. He'll get off the ice along with Georgiano. On comes Emilio Stabile and the newcomer in Blaze Pepe. Gators tried to find Josh Weinstein, and with no luck, Maisie comes in, sidesteps a check by Stabile. This one's handled and pushed back by Finn Moore. Stabile has control. He's chased after by Liam Denny out of Columbus, Ohio. The stick lift attempted by Blaze Pepe, and the Richboro, Pennsylvania native's got a lot of ice time. Could be someone we talk about a lot. Florida onside. Look out, knuckleball. Almost got to Rocco. It did. The shot was deflected, however. And another good job by Stabile to get this puck out of harm's way. And Florida, you can tell, is controlling the possession of the puck time, but they really have not created too many high-quality scoring chances. Of course, recently they just failed on their first power play of the night. Brady Baser alone chases after 2 Gators. They just have to get it through the middle of the ice, and now they'll get a breakout started. Edwards and Schweers onside. Behind the goal, they'll fight for it. Murphy, upright wing, and they've got Daniel Tove streaking down the middle. He gets onside. Tove trying to cut to the net, backhand wide through the blue paint. And he'll go off for a change. Tove, a good shift for him. Moved along. Baser with Kenny. Absorbed a check by Catone and handled behind the goal. Owls start their offensive possession. This one's skied in the bench area. Look out over there by the M3 Owls. Hanging out in front of their locker room, watching some action ahead of their game tonight against M2 Georgia Tech. You can catch that one Owl TV at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be here a while, Wes.
Going to be a late one for sure today.
If you're listening in the arena, please bring us a coffee. It is very, very essential tonight for what feels like a tournament style. We're
for sure
covering hockey for 6 straight hours. It's a good thing we're young, right? I've worked with some guys that have had long tournament belts where they're doing 4 games a day for 6 days straight, and it wears on you. But you've been getting to bed at a good time.
Yeah.
at school? I
That's
sound like a dad right now, but, you know, I don't know if you've been training yourself to be up until 1 or 2 a.m.
Oh, I've stayed up till 1 to 2. Last night I was up a little bit later studying for this game, but that's how it goes.
You know, Wes Moore is a student of the game. What does a student do for food at like 2 in the morning? Like, how do you keep yourself energized when you're running on fumes?
I mean, basically all it is, you just go to your fridge, you open up see whatever's in there. If it's your leftover tacos, your leftover spaghetti, you just take it and eat it.
You could have said go to bed too.
Or go to bed.
The reason I ask you that is we'll get to it more in our banner for a moment. Fortescue from the point, D to D, slap shot. That one was blocked by Murphy. Tommy Ziemba races after the puck at the end boards. Jake Murphy can't free it up. Michael McCoy. Look out. Oh, man. Brazier almost got nailed, and as a return check, Noah Horwitz gets smashed into the boards. Boy, the return hit by Ronan Keenan, the sophomore out of Lawrence, New Jersey. He's a big guy. Baser, drop pass for Murphy, turn around, looking for somebody in the middle, and a great stick deflection in front there. That was dangerous. Liam Denny got in the way. So we got another stoppage of play here. The puck went to the bench area. And it's like that. Some very solid opportunities, Wes. I don't know about you, but FAU looks like they're starting to turn things a little bit and get some better breakouts into the offensive zone.
Yeah, this has been a great game we've been treated with so far. A little bit of everything, hard hitting, good passing, good shooting, just no goals yet.
Yeah, it was not all Florida, but it was mostly Gator sweaters that had possession and the forecheck in the first 10 minutes. But that penalty kill ignited something in this FAU group, and all of the last 5 or 6 minutes, they've been bringing the forecheck. Look out, shot towards Bruno, and he gets belted over by Zelmansky, and a crowd will gather because of that. Arm goes in the air. We might have some coincidentals. That's Declan Catone trying to protect his goaltender. Zelmansky looked like he was trying to stop up. That shot initially came from the right side on Bruno, and then he scooped it into his pad, and that's when Zelmansky came in and fell over him.
Yeah, anytime the goalkeeper gets hit, you're going to have to expect something like that. It's probably going to be a 4-on-4 opportunity, maybe even a power play for the Gators if the officials see it that way.
I thought it was Catone on the ground. Like you said, 4-on-4. I presume we're going to have. On the board, yep, they're going to put number 19 for FAU. That's Declan Catone in the box. Zelmansky should go here.
They're not putting anything up on the scoreboard yet about that.
Oh, man. Are we looking at a Florida power play? Oh,
I think we are.
I don't know about that one, but
maybe the referees just viewed the contact as incidental, and yeah.
Well, if they ruled it incidental, they would have put both men in the box, but clearly they're saying that Catone was the infractor for knocking over Zelmansky, who pushed over into Rocco. So bit of a tone center, but here comes the Owls shorthanded. Trying to get onside was Blaise Pepe. It's the second power play of the night for this Florida group. From the left side, put it up for Katz, and he could not handle the feed in the slot. They keep it onside with Horowitz at the point. They'll leave it there for Keegan Lampinen. Surveys his options, far side of the ice. He's got Likashwa. They're playing tag with it. FAU keeping them to the outside. Lampinen, one more time for Horowitz. Likashwa receives. Oliverio pressing. Great stop by Bruno. Lampinen gets it back. Top of the right circle now. Stabile moves in on him. Likashwa, Oliverio, an opportunity, jumps on that puck, and he's got help with Murphy, and FAU will get out of the zone cleanly. Shorthanded through the legs. Nice job by Murphy. Shorthanded, he's got a shot, sails high over top of the goal. And a whistle coming, and they are going to send a Florida player. It is Michael Katz. I missed the signal. They just went over to the bench and told the scorer's table what the penalty was, but nonetheless, it's going to be 0 for 2, the Gators on the power play. They didn't have a shot on goal registered in that first man advantage. The Owls come back this time. And now with 52 seconds left in that minor penalty on Declan Catone, we'll get 4-on-4. Open ice to work with. Florida goes to work. Fight for the puck. Comes out to the black sweaters. Fortes waiting for it at the blue line. Let's got it out and he couldn't handle. Here comes Aiden Georgiano. Moved up from M3 and tried to cut inside on a move and lost handle of the puck. Here comes Pine. Right pad stop. The rebound chance whistles easily towards the left post. Out of the trapezoid, they'll go from low to high. 3 seconds to go to Catone's out of the box, and the shot went off the side of the goal. Fortes gets it back. Murphy will replace Catone right away. So it's a 1-minute power play for the Owls. Tommy Ziemba. We said it in the pregame. This team had a dominant season. 93 goals above what was 30 goals over the next closest team in goal differential, and then they smashed every team. I guess that's our buzzword tonight, smash, in the national tournament. En route to their first title. Brady Baser, opportunity in front. Connor Lee, can Oliverio hold the zone? He does. Leaves it to the left side, a chance for Baser, and a stop by Lee. Banks all the way to the opposite dashers. Murphy now trying to set up Baser, and that one's deflected from a Florida stick up into the netting behind the goal. 17 to go in this minor penalty on Michael Katz.
And kind of sort of a reflection of this whole first period. That's exactly what the power play and the 4-on-4 and the FAU power play has been. Just back and forth hockey, each team getting shots.
Yeah, Brady Baser was one of their best guys last year in the 5-on-4 situation. Jake Murphy with Oliverio Clapper well wide, trying to set up Baser, I believe, intentionally, but he couldn't find the puck. Florida will just saucer it along, and that's it. 0-for-1 goes Florida Atlantic to start off their man advantages. 2:23 left in a stalemate. Devin Serra, Wesley Moore with you for the season opener. This was a game to watch across the conference and a hockey house game to watch. Oliverio over the Boca Ice Center logo will chase it on alone. Pressed to the boards by Horwitz. Stolen away by Kemley. Campagne, captain for the M3 team, tried to stay onside, but Oliverio had his right foot over the blue line. Christian Long, the head coach for FAU in his third season. Assistants Mark Renner and Josh Haverstrom. Trainer is Mike Flaherty. Talked a lot to us last year and most recently the other day about guys stepping up and taking on bigger roles. And we've already seen him flush 4 full lines in this game. What impresses you the most about that?
The thing that I've most been impressed by is the fact that each line has, just played their hearts out. That's just, effort is always going to be number one over everything. But second, each line has had their equal share of opportunities. I don't think I've seen one line have more opportunities than the other.
It's a fair point, especially because we're talking about new guys like Blaze Pepe to this team. Finn Moore has had a couple of touches, a physical effort. Those new guys are stepping up on. And those M3 guys we talked about, Christian Cuccia, Georgiano, they've already had some scoring chances in this first minute. There's a penalty up on the board for Florida Atlantic, and I missed it, and I apologize. But this is a Florida power play. Keegan Lampinen has it, the third one of this game. And Owls clean it out. Long saucer down the ice. And the frustrating part right now, if you're FAU, is that you are matching this team in the 5-on-5, but you're just taking more penalties than the opposition. Stabile forwards it to the opposite blue line, gets a change with Biller.
I heard too many men.
Too many men. Okay, that's why we never saw the signal. Makes sense. This one put through the middle. Inopportune time, but Leon Biller has it. The captain. Shot towards Lee. Saved and collected by an Owl sweater. Good job getting in there as David Ross on this kill. Even though Florida's had more power plays, geez, they have not done a whole lot with it. 35 to go in the period. The clock and penalty time are simultaneous, so this period will end. If we don't get another stoppage, it's the Gators that are offside, and the face-off will come outside of the zone. And talk about a crowd here on hand. The upper balcony to our right is completely full. They are lined all around the glass, Boca Ice Center. And we haven't talked enough about how good of support that these programs have, because these Florida fans, God bless them, they traveled 3.5 hours to get down here in Boca.
Yeah, all the way from Gainesville to see their team play. It's impressive.
And they go and travel a long way. They play in Jacksonville at Community First Igloo for their home games. And they have not as many home games this year as road games like this one. Brendan Pine, 13 to go in the period and the power play. Leaves it for Wavada. Intercepted by Lentz. Races it. Wanted to smash it out of the zone. Pine towards a shot. That one never got to Bruno. Kept on side. One last attempt by Calbraze. And that's it for the first 20 minutes. So both teams get their looks. The FAU penalty kill has been busy, but they are perfect through 20 minutes. 15 will resume. You're watching the season opener between two rivals, Florida Atlantic and the Florida Gators, on Owl TV. We're back with you from Boca Ice Center for the beginning of the second period. Still scoreless between Florida and Florida Atlantic. Devin Serra alongside Wesley Moore. And before the game, we honored the 2024-25 national champion Florida Atlantic Owls, and a lot of those former players here tonight to be celebrated and honored. Wes, some awesome production from those guys, and a bunch of guys that individually made up a collective great team.
Yeah, these Owls last year were really, really good. A bunch of them going from Brady Bezier, still here, leading scoring last year. But 2-7, we have Caleb Owens, 42 points. Jake Murphy, 37 points. David Israel, 35 points. He also had 15 points alone, the most in the national tournament last year. So a lot of these guys are missing, and it's a place to be filled that these players need to be able to do.
Need to be able to do, but given their own space, these guys were snubbed of a championship for a couple of years. And 24, they lost to this Florida team in Jacksonville, in Pennsylvania, and then last year had a very much a dominant run. We've talked about that a whole bunch. But I think what's so awesome to see, too, is how a lot of these former players still rally around and still watch this team, still care about the program, because they've got now a test with ACHA if they're going to be able to be a program that competes at this level, a new chapter, a new journey. But in their own space, they deserve all the credit, and they've earned that right to be named national champions for AAU, which still exists, but in a much smaller role, as most of the teams, if you haven't known already, switched from AAU to the ACHA this past offseason, quite suddenly, actually. It's almost like an elephant in a room that there's over 500 teams now part of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, and a lot of those in M2 came quite suddenly and didn't expect to be in this position. It's why Florida and Florida Atlantic are going to play each other 6 times this year, because in order to be qualified for regionals, you have to play 16 M2 games, and they just so happen to have to do that a bunch. So, the way we look at it, we're starting a series here.
Oh, yeah. The best of 6 series, the winner has the best chance to make it into the conference tournament national championship.
So Liam Likishwa, Gators will flip the ice. They'll go from right to left in their black and blue sweaters, the blue helmets, blue pants, black sweaters, and black socks. FAU wearing their whites tonight with the red buckets, blue pants, white socks, and white jersey as we resume in this rematch of the 24 national title game. Florida Atlantic lost last year's only game with this Florida team, 4-1. It was a sort of tune-up game for both teams before their respective conference tournaments, as getting upended on the far side of the ice going for a spin. I believe that was David Ross. But the Gators didn't have the best regular season. They're trying to get a lot better. Here's a right pad stop by Rocco Bruno. Kick to the half boards and all the way towards Connor Lee for an icing. Rare icing in this game that's had a very fast pace to it to start, although it is still scoreless.
Yeah, and even with the low scoring, there's honestly been a low amount of shots as well. 11 shots for University of Florida and 8 shots for FAU respectively.
And the Gators have had 3 power plays, not been able to convert on any of them. They've been limited to shot attempts, as many as I count 3 on my score sheet over the 3 power plays. Face-off was won by the Gators. It was attempted towards the net and went wide of Rocco off the end board, collected by Oliverio behind the goal from Brandon, Florida. The sophomore had 6 assists in the national tournament last year. Here's a shot towards Lee by Bezier, and that one had to be blockered or sticked away by Lee, getting tuned up in this game. Hasn't seen a whole ton of action, like you said, only 8 FAU shots, but the ones they have come on, half of them have been high-quality opportunities. This one's deflected off of an FAU stick up into the netting and over the ice.
And over again, we're going to say it all this broadcast, the quality of the goalkeepers, Lee for Florida and Bruno for FAU, over and over again, they're just getting warmed up with those hard shots. That's the first shots that they're seeing, and really the only shots that they've been seeing. Great goalkeeping.
You've got a reigning goaltender of the year in Rocco Bruno, and then a national title winner in Connor Lee. 2 very respected goaltenders in college hockey south. FAU trying to keep the pressure on. Leon Biller forwards a puck, received from David Ross. He has a heap of trouble coming from Calabrese. Kept up from the zone. This one's fluttered along by Henry Bonnet. Bonnet connects with a man at the trapezoid, trying to cut wide towards the middle and not able to feed Biller. And Biller's playing with a couple of new guys on this line. Jason Seefeld is a returner, but here you've got from a high shot over the top of the crossbar, it was Declan Catone. Henry Bonnet and David Ross make up this new line. Coming to fish the puck out was Connor Lee, and a crowd gathers. Biller has the backside, takes down James Maisie, and are we going to get coincidentals for that? They'll separate. That's a captain in Biller, the junior from Gothenburg, Sweden. Had a goal and 2 assists in the national championship game. Biller did, en route to his team's first title. And, you know, you talked about a lot of guys that made up the bulk of scoring, leaving the program 2 through 7 in that forward group. But, you know, Biller didn't have the most points, a winger, 19 points on the year. You expect his production to go way up this year.
Especially as a captain and that returning player with that national championship experience.
He's not necessarily known as a goal scorer, but he did have 40 points in the 23-24 season. 16 goals to go with it. Daniel Tove shields a man from the puck. Shot from the point went to the legs of Stabile. Caught up to by Anthony Campagne. The senior defenseman came over from the M3 team last year. Working the puck over is Owen Wayvada. Sidesteps a check. Tove keeps the puck deeper to the zone. Zelmansky is there to head up. Mahan shoved into nearly the FAU bench. Stabile, they stay on side. Stabile, no help. Drop pass. Campagne picks it up. Here's a shot deflected. Opportunity. What a stop by Connor Lee off the left pad. Soft one from the high slot. Never gets through. And Florida finds some breathing room with Wayvada playing the puck off of the linesman's skate. Stabile gets upended and will fall. Zelmansky from the center ice logo will dump it so his team can get some changes. Rocco Bruno, inopportune play. He almost thought about collecting the puck, but lost his footing, and that is an icing, but winning the race, who was going to get there first, was Christian Cuccia. And I think they're going to have to put the puck at center ice for that. There's no way Florida won that race to the puck. Cuccia had it dead to rights on the far side. And there's a conversation being had. Tove and Cuccia. I can't believe they would keep this in the zone. I know we're Owl TV over here, but I think you could see that from Brick Street that was icing that should have been waved off. Regardless, it's going to come to the right of Bruno. They'll force a draw. That Florida wins. From the point, deflected shot. Second try, it's up and loose. A third opportunity doesn't get to Bruno. Puck laid to a wide open backdoor cage. If someone could pick it up, shot whistles to the right post. A follow-up attempt. Florida trying to get the puck to the net. And FAU doing a good job getting the body in front. Now trying to set up Ho. Streaks in from the middle. He got it for the one-timer, and Bruno sprawled out and made the stop to cover.
This game's picking up right where it left off in the first period. Fast, physical, hard-hitting, forecheck, back check, everything you can want in this game is here.
And so Florida almost made the most of an advantage icing call, or at least one that was sort of phantom-like. But if FAU gains possession, it looks like they'll get out unscathed for now. This has still been a stalemate. We have not had an infraction through the first 4.5 minutes of this period, as it's flipped out of play by Oliverio. And to start this game, it was a fast pace. We had about 7 minutes without a whistle the first 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden stop with all of the penalties. Now you see them getting back into the flow, and the neutral zone is wide open. I think both sides are starting to now get their breakouts going better.
Yeah, it's been, you see FAU with their chances and right back, you see Florida with their chances and right back, you see FAU with their chances and right back Florida. It's just been like that all game.
Back and forth. You'd expect it between two teams that are very close in skill level. Draw to the right of Connor Lee, digging in for the Gators, Evan Edwards. Edwards wins it back for Calabrese. And out of the neutral zone, Oliverio levels his man. Great job separating his player from the puck, and getting up in a swift heap is Sully Swears. Jake Buccigross, first time we've said his name tonight. That's not Jake Buccigross. I apologize. That came off. Delayed penalty coming up here on FAU as Connor Lee races to the bench. Jack Fortesk, keep away. 6-on-5 as Connor Lee is waiting at the bench area for the touch. Horowitz keeps it away, and now it's touched. Let's see what the call is. It's going to be a tripping call. And Florida will go to their fourth man advantage of the night. It's on 93. That's Ronan Keenan. Still getting used to those new names. And if you're Florida right now, you have got to find a way to make this work on the man advantage. They have been foiled 3 times tonight because of plays like this. Florida Atlantic clogging up the middle. Look out, blowing a tire. On the right side, Lampinen looks towards the net, thinks about a shot, takes one, and deflected. Opportunity to get at the right side of the goal, and it's finally flown out. For a second, everybody in this building stopped. It looked like it might have squeaked past Bruno under his legs, but Calabrese and Lampinen have to restart the breakout. Stabila, he gets around, cuts to the middle of the ice. Sticked away once, twice. Great job defensively. Tommy Ziemba, an alternate captain this year, keeps it away from Florida in the slot. Calabrese, long stretch pass. Lampinen, quick feeds with Katz. They can't get onside. Short-handed, the captain Biller will drop pass it, kill time. Murphy has some open ice, but look out. That leads to a 3-on-1, and we've got a penalty, and there's a hooking call coming up, I believe, on Florida. And it is Michael Katz.
That's just a bad time penalty for Katz. You have the 3-on-1 coming. You have a chance to score on your power play. You give up the penalty. It just puts it to 4-on-4, and your opportunity's over.
Just like that, Florida Atlantic will get their second opportunity. They only had a minute of power play time after Florida went on a power play, and then a penalty by Katz also in the first led to their first foiled man advantage. So here we go. To the right of Connor Lee, rather left, Seafelt digs in, wins the draw, and it's Biller at the point. Look out, Weinstein steals the puck away. Oliveri has to get into defensive position, shorthanded, in and out of the glove of Bruno, but he's got the follow-up shot in his paraphernalia, and that'll cause a draw in his zone. A Florida group that has had some flying opportunities. We have not seen their shot attempts come through in high-quality chances. Lickeshwa has been foiled time and time again by great FAU bodies in the middle of the ice. And there's another block in front, and it leads to a breakout pass to the right wing. Jake Murphy, shot on net off the crossbar. Hit the top of the red post, and Florida, shorthanded, comes back the other way. Short side attempt. Bruno makes the stop first time, and they're going to spread out the ice now. Up to the point. Fortes can't hold the line, and that's going to bring the draw outside of the zone. Jake Murphy, opportune time, his best shot of the game to start off the season.
Easily one of the best chances we've had so far this game.
There's 12 seconds to go in the I said this was man advantage. It was, in fact, 4-on-3. FAU trying to get their personnel set. 4-on-3 for, 4-on-4, excuse me, for a couple of seconds. There's 10 left in the power, or the 4-on-4. Look out, Brady Baser scores! The first goal of the M2 season belongs to the Longhorn, Pennsylvania native.
This game finally broken open, wide open, one-on-one opportunity with the goalie, puts it right by him. FAU's up 1-0.
An even strength 4-on-4 goal as Baser shoots out like a rocket off of that draw and gets to the puck first past the defense, and he beats the glove side of Connor Lee to start off the scoring. We've broken it with 13:10 to go in the second period.
Ends last season as the #1 scorer for FAU and starts this season as the #1 scorer for FAU.
He had points in all but 4 games last season, Wes, and was an all-conference second team for College Hockey South. One of their best, and the biggest reason this FIU group thinks that they can compete at the M2 level in ACHA this year. Florida now has to answer. Rocco Bruno, great stop going from right to left. And that's a short-handed attempt by the Gators. Brendan Pine wins the draw. Florida shot towards the net. And again, Biller sprawls out with the body. Boy, Florida Atlantic has done a terrific job so far getting in front of these shot attempts. Deflecting pucks. Oh my goodness, Pine almost just wound up from 2 feet away on Bruno. And it looks like the junior goaltender got a piece of it. Jake Murphy can't get around his man. Pine to race after it. Baser, the most recent goal scorer on FAU's second power play of the night, which officially starts now, will not be credited with a power play goal because it was 6 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Oliveri over the line, skates wide, has help coming, but cannot get it to them as it's stolen away by a great last minute by Owen Wavada and Brendan Pine. Pine looking for the return feed in the middle. He's got 3 white sweaters in front of him. Out of the box comes Michael Katz. He'll be replaced by Nicholas Ho. Biller connects after the deflection attempt by Fortes. Looks for Kuchia. He's got it. Kuchia trying to stick handle away from Fortes. Biller there to help out. And it's sticked along. Look out. Tommy Ziema's got to win that race for it. There's 2 black sweaters, and he does. But the Gators are going to touch this one. They'll move it to the opposite end of the ice. Vasiliev off the bench. Sophomore defenseman Aaron Lentz finishes his check. And that allows FAU to get some open space. Cross ice feed. Nearly got to the reigning player of the year from men's 3 last year. Aaron Lentz finds it under his legs. Up to the point. He'll cycle. Looking for a deflection. That one well wide. Michael McCoy for Ho. He's trapped by white sweaters. Leaves it for Test. Dangles around the defenders. Has a lane to shoot. And that was off the stick of Rocco Bruno and deflected up into the netting behind. 10:51 to go in this second period.
And one of the things you mentioned, Devin, about players just being in the right place, the right time to block those pucks. One of the keys to great defense in hockey is being willing to put your body on the line and take some of those hard shots to stop it from getting to your net.
Yeah, and that makes Rocco's job a whole lot easier because he's not having to scramble a lot around and go from left to right and get unsettled. He looks calm, cool, and collected like we've known him the last 2 years. He was a standout freshman product. Could have had a first national title in 24, but this Gator team foiled him in that tournament. Led by Frank Pasquale, his 3rd year. They're a well-coached team, and a lot of people are picking them to come out of College Hockey South as the team to make the regional tournament and then possibly a national tournament in St. Louis come March. Daniel Tove will help out a white sweater on the right. That's Petito, or rather Vasiliev, and they did, but threw it all the way back to Ziemba, which will reach Rocco. We are halfway through this season opening game. FAU and Florida. These two teams will battle twice this weekend. Sunday they will play from Baptist Health Ice Center. Look out! The linesman just got decked by Leon Biller. Oh, bad position to be in inside the right circle. Good to see him spring up. That could have been very dangerous. It's going to be an icing called on Florida. And the linesman will have a good laugh about it over there. Doesn't always happen, but definitely not intentional by Biller, who's just trying to get to the puck there.
Had a run. Official was in the way, just blew him up. Nothing really you could do except just take the hit.
And take the hit he did, you know.
He ate it.
Sometimes
He
you
ate
gotta,
it.
and I wonder if Danny Baum's listening out here, sometimes you gotta take a hit to make the play. Well, that linesman just did. 9:33 to go in the second. Jason Seefeld. Seefeld takes a whack at it. Slowing the momentum, David Ross for Carozzo. Wayvada. Sorry, that's not Carozzo. Henry Bonnet. Looks like the tape came off the back of the sweaters. It's getting me mixed up
some
now.
M3 names right there.
Yeah. Seefeld, as they get double-decked into the boards. Zach Zelmansky laying the body. It's been like that all game long. These are two teams that do not like each other. Keegan Lampinen on side. Tries to get inside. He's held away by Bonnet. Great job by Bonnet. The freshman bodies his man, but he's going to get a penalty here. Or rather, I'm mistaken. It's Florida with the delayed call. But Leon Biller, 6-on-5. Rocco's at the bench. Now pinned up against the boards. We'll see if they can get it free. And they don't. But it is a power play coming up here for the Owls. We're waiting on the signal. It's for a slash. According to my chart, that looks like Keegan Lampinen. 8:30 to go. It is Lampinen in the box for a slash. Owls will go to their third power play opportunity of the night. Nobody has been able to convert on the man advantages.
Both teams still scoreless, as you were saying. Florida 0-4, FAU 0-3, going on their fourth chance right now.
They're going to give time to Florida to get their penalty kill group settled. Denny will come on the ice with Weinstein. Calabrese joins James Mazie. Owls got the puck free from the point. Shot to Lee. Second, third chance. Flipped through his pads 3 times, and Kuchia trying to jam it home. Jake Murphy surveys his options, goes to the middle, and intercepted in the middle of the slot. Sent the length of the ice by Weinstein. One of only a couple seniors on this Florida group, along with Nicholas Ho. Jackson Choi, who is not playing in this game tonight for the Gators. Murphy has it over the blue line. Kuchia has help in the middle. Calabrese separates him from the puck. Kuchia comes in to help. 3 white sweaters to fish the puck out. Calling for it at the point, Oliverio gets it up. Murphy is here with Calabrese. And a good job by Florida to kill off the first minute. And they will freshly change their kill group. Oliverio drops the trailer. Swift move by Baser. Cuts inside. Backhand scores! He's got 2!
Just an amazing play by Brady Baser, cutting to his right, hitting it with his backhand above the shoulder of Lee. That was just really good play, really good shot. 2-0.
Somebody finally converts on the power play. Brady Baser, his second of the night. And for a guy that was pivotal in their national championship run a year ago, he's got another multi-point game to his name. Wicked shot, and 2-0. FAU takes control of this game. Aaron Lentz says we're not done yet. Horowitz to the end boards, pushed in. Likashwa to come in. They're going to fight over this with Blaze Pepe. And finally getting some space with Horowitz. McCoy over the neutral zone. They'll chase after it. Catone bodies his man along. That allows FAU smartly to get this out to center. The dump and chase they go. Aiden Georgiano, Aaron Lentz, as Florida players are coming on the ice from a change. Florida is out of the zone with nobody home. Will it get to the trapezoid for an icing? It's waved off. Henry Bonnet, bank pass off the boards, trying to connect with Georgiano, unsuccessful. Horowitz with McCoy. Finds room in a black sweater over the Boca Ice logo. Shot never gets through. The follow-up loose in the slot, flipped into the air. FAU clogging that right side of the ice. And once again, they get a clean defensive stand. And you know, Florida looks like they're just out of rhythm right now thanks to that Brady Baser goal. For Tesk. Wanted to connect in the middle with Edwards, and he sailed it high over his stick. Seafelt back on side. Good pass, scores! David Ross, his first ACHA goal. 3-0 Owls.
We spoke prior to this game about those new players needing to step up and score to make up for the loss of those top scoring players last year. David Ross, one of those new players, scoring off an amazing pass by Seafelt right to him, right above him.
You saw that on your Owl TV screen. What a beautiful feed. Seafelt and David Ross, the freshman, connect. The Pembroke Pines, Florida native. Long time with the Islanders Hockey Club. In juniors, played with Florida Alliance in 22 and 23. An alumni of Southwest Broward High School. And FAU will time out this one, I believe, on the Florida side. Westmore with Devin Serra in the booth. Now at the conclusion of the first, both teams were pretty even this game. Florida outshot FAU 11-8, but they could not convert on those power plays. And now the Owls have turned those penalty kills into momentum.
Yeah, anytime you can kill off a penalty, it just gives you hope and it gives you encouragement that if you can fight through that down a man, you can score when you're on equal players on the ice.
Impressive. And how about that camera shot from our producer, Mitch Liswith, along with this Owl TV staff. They do a terrific job, Wes, and they get you all those close vantage points down on the ice. 3-0. Owls take control, firm control of this game. And Florida looks like they're scrambling a bit in their own zone. They have not had many quality scoring chances in this second period, and they are 0 for 4 on the man advantages. Wavada lost handle of it at neutral zone. It's just dumped back in, banked off the end boards. This one's caught up to Zelmansky around Baser, help with Kemley to separate him from the puck. They fight after it along the near glass. Turnaround shot on Bruno, and that one was deflected wide. And it's stuff like this where they're just not able to set up a consistent play. FAU clogging the middle well. Wavada nearly lost his footing. He gets the puck to the right side, and this one is smothered into the pads of Bruno.
And Florida's looking a little frustrated that they can't get their offense going. Just FAU smothering any chances that they have.
Yeah, and especially defensively, they look really good. You know, one of the things that Christian Long harped on was that he said this group is going to be ready to go with all of the scrimmage time they've got and all of the experience they gained. It sounds like it starts in their own end, and their offense can naturally produce from there. Now, they've had 2 goals in either breakaway chances or odd-man rushes. That is a beautiful glove stop by Rocco Bruno on the shot by Lampinen.
And Lampinen absolutely ripped that shot, headed for the top bin of the goal. Just Rocco Bruno snatching it out of the air to prevent it being 3-1.
And, you know, with him, with all of the offseason training, his regiment looked terrific. He talked about it in the pregame, Wes, that he trained with Patrick Kane in the offseason right here at Boca Ice Center. That clip went viral on College Hockey South's page along with the Hockey House. And there's a stoppage of play as an Owl crashed into the net. That was Daniel Tove. You look at a guy like Bruno that is a leader in his own right. A lot of guys could, but, I mean, he's a guy that could wear a letter on his sweater.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And he's got quite the personality to it. Credit to him coming up here saying what's up to us before the game. That's just how he is, right? Stays
For
loose.
sure.
Doesn't take too many things that seriously. A lot of people credit him for being the juice a lot of times in their locker room, and done a couple of mic'd up features on the social media pages. Expect a lot more out of him this year, both on and off the ice. Here's Cats. Florida has not looked great this second period. They are down 3-0. All 3 goals coming in the last 12 minutes. This one is a delayed penalty as it's touched by FAU. And they are sending Keegan Lampinen into the box for Florida. So this one continues to unravel for the Gators in this second.
When a team's on a roll, the last thing you want to do is give up a penalty, put Florida Atlantic on the power play, which they're 1 for 4 of.
And if you recall, Lampinen was just in the box for a slash on that power play goal by Brady Baser. It's for holding. FAU is 1 for 3 on their power plays, and 3-0 looks like a big score right now, but if they get this thing to 4, could be lights out for the team from Gainesville.
That 4th goal might blow the game open for sure.
And now there's a conversation being had at center ice by both leadership cores. Noah Horowitz is an alternate captain for Florida. Leon Biller, as you see on your screen. Rather, you're looking at error 404. We'll get it down, guys. Don't worry. First game of the year. We want to mention some of these guys do have temporary numbers. The likes of Henry Bonnet's wearing 28 tonight. Finn Morris wearing 2. David Ross in 15. Ronan Keenan is who wears 93, the sophomore out of Lawrence, New Jersey.
Blaise Pepe, 29, another number out there.
Another draw won by the Owls. Here they go on their 4th power play of this game. For Tesk, alone to fight with Biller. Standing up, Keenan in the glass area. Murphy has an look, and that's off the skate blade. Good job getting in front of that puck by Horowitz. I thought Nicholas Ho might have had a chance for a rush the other way. None comes of it. Brady Baser, 2 goals tonight. His wrist shot off the deflection by Horowitz out of play, and some roughing after the play. We said it, this is a rivalry game, and it started because of how close these teams were in 2024. It dates back, but you look at some of their competition this year for the Florida Atlantic side. We said they're going to play this team 6 times. They're going to play Tampa as many as I think 4 or 5. So it's absolutely crucial that for Sunday they do everything they can to demoralize this Florida team. And if you're Florida, you're saying we got to make this thing a game so that we have something for Sunday. Jake Murphy, cross-ice feed for Baser, gets around one defender. Ho comes in to help for Tesk and clears it the length of the ice. Nick Oliverio will be there to retrieve it as the Florida bench is changing. On comes Weinstein and Swears. racing right wing. Oliverio over the line. Puts one in the middle. Keenan was not ready for that, and it leads to a black sweater getting there first. Weinstein has someone ready, whiffs on the shot attempt. He'll skate wide with it though, just kill off some more time smartly. Gets pressed to the boards by two white sweaters, and they will find open ice. Here come the Owls. They might have an odd man rush if they hurry. Brady Baser drop pass for Keenan, and the shot is smothered up with no rebound by Lee. .33 to go in the power play for the Keegan Lampinen holding penalty. Daniel Tove. And another face-off win for the Owls. They have gotten a lot better in that regard as this game's gone on. Stabile looking for the deflected top by Cuccia. He got it back and couldn't get the shot off. Good defensive play made by Calabrese. Quick passes. Catone from the point. Reverses field. The shot doesn't get through. It's blocked down. A rush shorthanded. Wavada. 10 seconds to go in the Lampinen penalty. Cuccia. Both feet off the ice. Flutters this puck behind his trapezoid. It leads to a race through the middle of the ice. Carrying it all alone. Swiftly over the line. Henry Bonnet. This is Tove. Florida back to 5-on-5. 1 for 4 goes the Owls on the man advantage in this game. Michael McCoy. Stabile. Help coming with Bonnet. Check that, David Ross. Ross has the most recent goal. Middle part of the second. This is an icing on Florida. And his first as an Owl sweater. And this line will stay out here for now. I was wondering if they were going to change some personnel. Looking at Seafelt, Aaron Lentz, Sean Vasiliev, a defenseman we haven't talked about a whole lot tonight in this game from Belmore, New York, the sophomore. Played 2 games in that national championship run. Another Florida Alliance alum. A lot of those guys on both sides. Calabrese stops up, shot towards Bruno, stick the side. We've got a men's league game going on behind us. That was what the whistle you heard was. Look out, up for grabs in the slot, and it's cleared out of harm's way by Aaron Lentz. Georgiano, coming up from the M3 team last year, gets it out of harm's way. Press a man to the boards. F2 can't get there in time. That's Lentz. Sails over the head of McCoy. Another foiled stretch pass that the Gators attempt. They just have not had the flow they had in that first period. Vasiliev, nice pass, taking a check to make the play. Aaron Lentz finds some room with Georgiano. He'll separate. Florida clogs the middle. He'll go up to the point. Vasiliev, deflected shot. Connolly, right pad stop. And Denny will get it up but not out of the zone. Vasiliev, good keep. 30 to go in the period. Georgiano against Fortesk. Calling for it in the middle, and nobody's there but a black sweater and Horowitz to direct this to the opposite end. See if the Owls have one more breakout in store. Ziemba and Biller can't get it over the line as Katz alone for the Gators. Gets pressed in the face. 6 seconds to go. They'll fight to the boards. FAU just clouds that side of the ice, and they break this one open. Wide open. 2 goals from Brady Baser. 1 on the power play, and the first goal of David Ross's ACHA career sees a 3-0 control for the Owls in their season opener. 15 minutes will resume. You're watching Florida and Florida Atlantic in the College Hockey South game to watch on Owl TV.
I'll give up mine. Yeah, I'm 100% down for that.
3? Let's do that.
Oh my gosh. That was a genius idea.
I can see him.
Shit.
Hey, can we ask him real quick? Can we ask him? David Israel, the guy with the jersey. In the white jersey? For him? So he can just keep this off, right? Right here? Would he be on right away? Turn him on, yeah. What's up, man? Hey! How you doing? You mind coming on for like 5 minutes and just bullshitting?
Hey, what's up?
All right, dude. What's up, man? So, yeah, just you tell him. Hold this. All right, sweet.
All right. Cool. Sounds good.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah.
Devin Serra and Wesley Moore back to Boca Ice Center. A 3-0 performance for the Owls in that second period, and we're welcomed in the booth by longtime veteran of Florida Atlantic and a fan favorite, David Israel. Welcome and congratulations on your national championship.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a really special night. Really glad to be here.
How's it feel being back with the boys again?
It's really nice to see the team. It's weird being in the stands, obviously. First time in 6 years that I'm not on the ice, but the guys are playing awesome tonight. They're representing our culture and the way we want to play, and they're setting the tone for the season and hoping for a really strong third period to close this out.
You're like a local celebrity. I see 2 kids running by. They're saying, is that David Israel over there? And you're wearing the white jersey, obviously. And, you know, we talked a lot in the broadcast about just replacing the veteran leadership, and guys like Leon Biller have stepped up. They've got Campagne now. What do you see in this young group that's just so promising?
Like I said, it's a culture now. We expect to win. We have the highest standard. It's all the way down from the top. And when new guys come in, they're expected to perform at their best. And, this is club hockey, but at the same time, we take this pretty seriously. I poured my heart and soul into this program for a really long time with, Matthias Weir and Jake Friedman and Miles Davidson and,
FAU legends.
All the fellas. And, it's really nice to be able to see it pay off. And then, to not see too big of a dip and to have that competitiveness, especially playing with some really, really talented teams like UF and a lot of those teams that are moving down from D1 into the ACHA D2. It makes the league a little bit more competitive this year.
I do have a question for you, though, about the national championship. How does it feel to go from a player who is a role player, played your role, put up a average amount of points, one of the best players still, but then going into the national championship and putting up a team-high 15 points throughout that tournament?
Yeah, I for my whole career, I was always very, very talented offensively. That was part of my game, was to produce from the back end, and I was prepared and focused for nationals, and I filled my role by being good defenseman. But there's a nice goal there, set the tone for the third.
Yeah,
that's
set
awesome.
The tone they did. Cross ice feed, bar down over the shoulder of Connor
Great
Lee.
start.
And boy, who is that leading the line? Was wearing number 2, Finn Moore, the defenseman. His first goal as an ACHA player. Boy, that's got a. Do you remember your first goal?
No, that was a long time ago.
I say long. Don't age yourself.
You know what? To be honest with you, I opened up my career against UF, and I probably scored that game, so I'm going to go with that. But to answer your question, be able to fill my role, defense, offense, and played a lot of minutes for the club, and me and Nick Olivero had a great national week, and it was just really special to close it out and finish the chapter of my career and on a high note.
Sure. Tell people what you're up to post-grad now.
Yeah, so when I originally moved down here as a freshman, I started a youth ice hockey program called the South Florida Wolfpack, and that program's flourished a little bit here in the last 6 years, and I have a really great opportunity at Palm Beach Skate Zone. I'm a co-director of the Palm Beach Hawks youth organization, as well as running my Wolfpack stuff in the off season, and I've been able to make a nice living for myself and been able to do this, come to the rink every day in Boca. It's pretty special. I've been very fortunate.
A couple of nice stops by Rocco Bruno as we got some more pushing and shoving. And so
what a game
Mansky's
from Rocco
it.
Bruno.
Oh, I know.
Let's talk about Rocco Bruno.
Let's talk about Rocco.
What a character.
What was the most fun moment you've had with Rocco?
with Rocco.
PG. Keep it PG here on our TV.
Well, you know what? He's underage, so it's always been PG. He's a very serious hockey player. He comes to the rink ready to go, and like you're seeing today, he's a very focused goalie in that net, not really giving much to UF, and he's doing a great job. I'd say my favorite memory with Rocco, oh man. You know what? I think just playing rebound game with him in the morning. He would always come out. We used to practice at 6 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday. And you know what? To be a goalie at 6 a.m., mad respect. And he would come out, get in the net, and we would play rebound together. And just stuff you look forward to and stuff you definitely miss with your friends twice a week.
One of the best on the ice and one of the best characters off the ice, as were you, David. And love to see what you're up to in post-grad. Congrats. And
thank you
we'll
very much.
cut you loose and go have fun, enjoy yourself. But
thank you.
Boy, you're loved by FAU staff, so thanks again for coming.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. David Israel, everybody. Alumni, part of Florida Atlantic's team. Little fist bump on the way out. But, gosh, what a guy that was so physical, 6'3" all in all, and one of the premier guys part of this FAU program and now a national champion.
Spent a long time with FAU hockey as well.
It's good to see him back. A bunch of other alumni were celebrated in the pregame show. 17:42 to go in this game as Finn Moore has his first a defenseman. I almost was going to ask him what you think about that kid. I'm not sure he knows too much, but here comes the Gators the other way, and Rocco never received a shot from Liam Lickeshwa. Boy, this one was cut open in a fast way. Demoralizing fourth goal for the Owls. And now if you're Florida, man, you have got to play catch-up in this game because they looked good in the first period, but ever since the start of the second and those penalty kills, it's just been all FAU in this game.
Yeah, it's definitely been a tale of two periods. Starts the game super close, back and forth. Both teams getting opportunities, great goalkeeping by both. And then you see the game start to tilt towards FAU with those power play kills, those shots on goal. You can just see the tide turn. And then finally on a 4-on-4, it finally just breaks open. FAU gets that first goal, and FAU's never looked back.
They have not looked back at all with time dwindling down. The Gators, though, looking pretty good on this one. Clapper shot off the backside of Kuchia and wide of the goal. Vasiliev couldn't clean it out. Georgiano bouncing puck up for grabs. Bracco, another good stop on the right side of his pads. Now from behind the net, Gators pushing Nicholas Ho, and three great stops from Rocco. A fourth one whistles wide as McCoy picks it up behind the goal. A tired FAU group out there trying to hold the middle. Georgiano can't find it. Wayvada turns it back to Lickeshwa. He'll circle his own left circle. Tries to put one, I thought it was going to go in front. Ziemba, Hope blows a tire, and that allows Georgiano and his group, a tired group, to get out of the zone. Back on side they go. Georgiano tries to get inside, and the puck was stolen away, deflected by Owen Wayvada. Aaron Lentz, though, keeps the forecheck moving along. And a Gators sweater finds it, closing off the boards. Here comes Brennan Pine on a shot from Rucco, and off of his left pad into the glove. And it's just that kind of calmness that culminates this FAU group to play as confident as they are.
And you talk about momentum earlier in this game as well, taking the momentum from this game, scoring, and then Rocco Bruno in goal as well. He's not letting a goal. He's looked calm. He's controlled every shot without much of a problem. Imagine the momentum he's going to take from this game along with the FAU Owls.
Yeah, they are headed towards a bounce-back performance. They lost 4-1 in the regular season finale, an exhibition against Florida, who at the time was AAU Division I. Zomansky from the point gets this knocked away by Ronan Keenan. Keenan puts it under his legs for Murphy. Gets it out. Murphy, good job getting it back to Keenan. He's got Oliverio. One great move, a second try. Regains possession of it. And pressed off the puck was an Owl sweater. And the most recent goal scorer tries to put it back into the yellow zone. Finn Moore, Aurora, Colorado. Alumni of Chaparral High School. Had 40 games played and spent the last couple of years with a AAA program in Des Moines. From the point, Murphy. Chased after by Pine. He's just going to go for a lap. Seeing that, going off for a change is Finn Moore. He's replaced by Henry Bonnet. And the Gators try to stretch this out, and it's going to be an icing. They try to get back to the bench before that one, and none comes of it. Zelmansky and an owl bump shoulders on the way out, and Murphy. Nothing will come of that. And now it looks like Florida is really just demoralized. They had a great opportunity 2 minutes ago here, Wes, and Rocco Bruno, we just talked to, stood tall.
Yeah, you can definitely see Florida getting out here, becoming more tired, becoming more frustrated. You can see on the shoulder bump trying to maybe start something to get them up on a power play, just FAU not falling for anything.
Defensively very impressive considering they've killed off 4 penalties in this game. It's smothered into the chest protector of Carnley on the shot by Biller. And Frank Pasquale's group before the game, his experience, right? He's been coaching since 1993. He's had 3 years to get this Florida program right, and it feels like this is one of the better Florida teams that they've had since the national tournament they won, of course, only 2 years ago. But when you look at the Florida side, who can produce for them, Liam Lickeschois has had his chances. Jack Fortesque has brothers, one brother that's going to be a draft pick to the NHL. The other is playing in Tampa. They've got talent on that group. It's just that they have not had the cohesion in the second and third. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. With any good coach, he's going to be able to look at this game and look at film and be like, what did we do wrong and what can we fix? And those things that are going to be fixed are the things that you're going to massive hit.
Oh, my goodness. Leon Biller.
Wow.
And Sully Schweers cleaning his clock. He is slowly getting up. Seefeld is back on side holding his chin, and he's hurt.
He's leaving his stick, too. He got blown up on that play.
Spheres will go to the bench, left his stick on the ice. McCoy ran into it, and it's laying there in the Owls' own slot. We hope Sully Schweers is okay after that one. You're right. Biller got him up high. And Florida's looking at now a man down. Not what you want to see, especially being down 4-0 like this. Here's Campagne from the point, former captain for the M3 team last year. That one's deflected off a Florida skate blade, and the Gators will reclaim out of their own zone. James Mazey forwards it along the far wing. Lost by Michael McCoy. Tommy Ziemba put it into Katz's pocket. He handles it down for McCoy. He gives it up to his defenseman. Lickeschois, they get on side with McCoy. Ziemba, good job closing the boards. The Owls have more sweaters. They have been doing a great job forcing those trap plays and making Florida cough up the puck a couple of times. Wayvada now sidesteps a check by Stabile, who falls to the ice. Great job to play the puck out of his own forward area by Blaze Pepe. It's got a break backhand. Right pad stopped by Lee. From behind the goal. Turnaround shot by Stabile. Once again foiled by Lee. And the Gators will have some room to get out of their own zone. Just flutter this, dump and change as they give it back to the Owls. Aaron Lentz from Campagne. Deflected, reversal offensively, and Ho was not ready for that return feed. Once again, the forecheck just not on the same page there. Zelmansky gets knocked to the ice by Campagne, gives it up. Stabile, rather, Aaron Lentz, as two players fight in the middle of the ice. That's Kuchia and Zelmansky. They get back into the play now. Sailing shot wide from the far point. Denny in the middle. Could not connect from the attempt by Weinstein. Georgiano closes the wall. They get it back. Calabrese for Denny. Thinks about it. That one's blocked by Ziemba. He'll get there to the end boards. Lentz will find some room. Wanted to stretch it to Georgiano, and this will result in an icing.
I mean, one of the things you kind of have to do when you're looking at Connor Lee, you kind of have to give him some credit in this game. Let 4 goals in, but if you look at the goals that he scored that were scored against him, it was a screamer by Brady Bezier, another tough backhand by Brady Bezier, amazing feed from Seefeld to Ross, put it in. He's been solid other than those goals.
The only one you could probably put against him was the most recent one, and even then, Finn Moore had a great shot that went bar down. And you're right, Connor Lee has looked good in this game. He's a veteran goaltender, a junior for Florida. They field 2 goalies on this Florida roster. Zach Shield is the other. He's a freshman. We'll have to see who they decide to go with on Sunday's tilt from Baptist Health Ice Center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Practice facility for the Florida Panthers. You can catch that game right here on Owl TV at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Pregame will start roughly around 5:20. 11:15 to go in this one. It's been all Florida Atlantic in their season opener tonight. Florida fans felt pretty good about the sweeps over Embry-Riddle, AC/DC, and M3 2 weekends ago, but in this one, it's a much more skilled team they're facing, and one that, coming off a championship, looks like they haven't missed a beat. It's a long season, though, and we'll have to see how consistent they are with Christian Long's group. Ronan Keenan stretch pass went west to east, and that one could not be connected with. Mahan out of the air, gets leveled behind, and Oliverio is going to have to sit. He knocked down Brendan Pine, and Mahan some pushing and shoving, and more players get involved in this kerfuffle. Mahan took objection to Oliverio's hit, and they're going to send both players, a coincidental, Mahan and Finn Moore, who came racing in to help out Oliverio. So 2 players, number 35 Mahan for Florida and Finn Moore for FAU, are going to sit 2 minutes. We'll see if that's all they give out here. Oliverio is the one that knocked the player down, but I'm not sure he's going to get anything out of this. Starting to get into that time where you start to see those kinds of things happen. Frustration, right?
Frustration just breaks over. That might be a 5-minute penalty. Just the nature of the game in a no-fighting league.
Yeah, that's definitely what the discussion's going to be about. We saw this in the M3 game last week where it took as long as 5 minutes to decide what to give out. It ended up being a 5-minute major penalty on a Miami player.
And you also had in the second game at Miami, A.J. Berry blew up somebody by the goal, started fighting him, both players got kicked out, and that's what actually ended up leading to FAU's overtime win.
Yeah, they squeaked out that series for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What is your assessment? We're about to see that M3 team play Georgia Tech here. You know, their biggest problem last year, it seemed like, was defensively. They gave up as many goals as they scored. Georgia Tech's an M2 team, and they're a lot improved.
I think FAU M3 it'll definitely be a fight. FAU does need to improve defensively. They either first game started down 3-0, came back 1-7-4, so they don't have a problem offensively. Second game, start up 3-0, then you lose that lead 4-3, bring it back 4-4, win 5-4 overtime. So something definitely needs to improve on the defense. This is definitely, Georgia Tech is a team that you can work on and improve through that game.
Just like this men's 2 group, they have a lot of new players that are stepping up in bigger roles. A new leadership core as well there. Sam Watson had a heck of a weekend, 3rd star of the week in College Hockey South. 2 goals, 4 assists over the weekend. And it looks like we're finally going to get underway with play here. They didn't send anybody off the ice.
Looks like there's 5 lining up against 4 right now.
It could mean what it does mean is a power play for the Gators, but is it 2 minutes or 5? We'll find out after Finn Moore's follow-up in what was a shoving match. 10:44 to go in this 3rd period. Devin Serra, Wesley Moore with you from Boca Ice Center. We'll be here also, like we mentioned, for M3 taking on M2 Georgia Tech after the conclusion of this one. Just 2 minutes on the board, and there's a shot by Lampinen, swallowed into Bruno's pads. Player they have on the board is 21.
Anthony Campagna.
Interesting.
I didn't see him involved in that scuffle, but
Me neither.
maybe it was something
Unless they
he
sent
said.
off Finn Moore and they're having Campagne serve the penalty. Let's not make too many assumptions here. Regardless, it's Campagne in the box for 2 minutes. Florida is on their 5th power play of the night. They are 0 for 4 in this game. That's been part of the story of this one, is how Florida Atlantic has translated the penalty kills to momentum. Stabile can't get it separated from Michael McCoy. He gets onside. Katz does a good job waiting for him. They'll switch places with Lampinen. Up to the point, shot by Horowitz, right pad stop. Another one in the glove is a beauty for Rocco, to the applause of this crowd.
And Declan Catone was kind of diving out for that puck, and it just snuck by him. A great save by Rocco Bruno.
Looking as good as ever. It's kind of crazy to say we can call Rocco a vet now. It feels like he's been one his whole career.
Always been solid in goal since day one.
Goaltender out of Pennsylvania. Springfield calls home. Pretty cool story he told us on the College Hockey South podcast, in which when they went to Nationals 2 years ago, oh my goodness, that was his best one. Left to right, dead to rights, and he foils Owen Wayvada on the one-timer. Brendan Pine can't hold the line. I'll finish the story real quick. Rocco brought the entire team to his grandparents' place over there in Pennsylvania since the national tournament was up there. And, you know, we talked about the impressive run they had all the way to the national final. They were foiled by this Florida team in that. Just shows kind of the guy that Rocco is to bring the whole team together and from day one be sort of that leadership presence. Florida, off the shoulder of Bruno, makes a stop and up but not out. Good keeping at the line by Wayvada. Brendan Pine trying to find Schwiers, who's back on the ice after he got decked earlier in this period by Biller. Wayvada from Calabrese. Pine towards the net, and that got a piece of Bruno. Neck is lodged off as Schwiers and Henry Bonnet get into it on the opposite side of the goal. 5 seconds to go in the penalty on FAU.
That's 5 seconds away from being 0 for 5 on the power play. Definitely a disappointing result, not the result that they were hoping for.
If you're a Florida fan, for sure. I think we all expected this one to feel a little bit closer, but you know, both sides have been taking their penalties where they are. Florida Atlantic is 1 for 4 tonight. Florida pending. They don't have a clap bomb here from the red line. Goes 0 for 5. So Jake Murphy wanted to receive it from Ronan Keenan, can't find it. He gets it off the bank pass from the boards. Short angle shot, never gets there. It's deflected by a black sweater, blowing a tire on that side of the ice, and an open goal scores. Connor Lee got out of position in his crease, and all Jake Murphy had to do was tap it in, and the lead is 5-0. The big body forward from Peabody, Massachusetts, has his first of the season. Former all-conference first-team College Hockey South. And that's going to all but seal this one, Wes.
And one of the things that rang true last year was the depth of the Owls, how many different scores they could have in one game. First game of the season, we're seeing that again. 4 different scores on 5 goals.
Time of the goal comes at 11 minutes, 35 seconds of the third period. And although Murphy doesn't wear a letter, he is one of those guys that is vital in this leadership core. He had one heck of a national tournament, 7 goals. That was team leading and put up 2 points in the national championship game against High Point. Still only a junior as well. That bodes well for a group that needs to replace a lot of their offensive production from last year. Likashwa on the net. Bruno, I don't think that ever got to him as Oliverio got in the way of the puck. Selmansky towards the net shot. Bruno's down. Second opportunity. McCoy gets him out. Doesn't take the shot though. Look out. Flying bodies everywhere. Likashwa, Weinstein, and now they're going to get a couple more players with an arm up in the air.
I think they're going to get Oliverio on that. He kind of pushed down a Florida player during that play.
Skated to the bench, Ronan Keenan, after he got into a little scrum in the middle of the ice, and it's going to be for cross-checking like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Sixth power play opportunity for Florida of this game. They have not converted on any of them. And if you're Christian Long, what are you thinking about this penalty kill group right now?
You're really, really happy. 0 for 5, holding an opponent 0 for 5 for any game, any league, any level, that's impressive.
Biller, their captain, of course, setting the tone. It's been huge in their Kell group. Give our flowers to Emilio Stabile as well, the Ontario, Quebec, Canada native. 4 goals in that national tournament run last year. Not a guy that puts up a ton of numbers, but they're relying on him a lot to be that guy that's aggressive, especially in the boards and free pucks up. And Florida Alliance alumni is showing in this game that his group can be as best as ever, and it's impressive to say the least.
Oh, definitely. Coming off of a national championship and beating an opponent that's supposed to be a good rival, 5-0 in the first game that you're playing. Your opponent's played 2 games up to this point as well, so there's no rust to shake off at this point. So it's overall dominating performance, very impressive for Florida Atlantic.
A tough drive for this Gator group. They'll stay in Fort Lauderdale/Boca for the next 2 days. That's a beautiful windmill glove save by Bruno on the shot from the point. The banner you can see in the right of your screen. 2025 national champions in AAU men's 2. Of course, we've said it a couple times in this broadcast, but both these teams are now part of the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Doesn't take anything away from the national title they won. It's going to be interesting to see what happens throughout the year and how ultimately their strength of schedule foils out. There's a lot more teams in ACHA than there were AAU at the men's 2 level. As many as 180. Great left pad stop by Bruno on the shot by Lampinen. And it's way out of the zone on the 6th kill of the night for FAU. Back on side, here come the Gators. From the left wing, sharp angle chance, and that's easily gloved by Bruno once again.
Rocco Bruno just made this look easy, honestly, at this point. Like, he barely even moved, just like picked it out of the air on that one play where he saved that goal. He like picked it off the ice like a first baseman in baseball. It's really impressive.
Training is sure paying off. He's probably the guy in the best shape of anybody on this FAU group. No offense to anyone else, but you see the training videos, his social media, he's always going for a jog. Huge lifting weights. He has some great training sessions that go on in the off season, so still in form. Oh my, that almost went off Kuchia's own skate towards Bruno. He was ready for it though. Brendan Pine. Seafout intercepts the passing lane, trying to find Wayvada again. 12 to go in Florida's 6th power play. Takes a look, and a great block in front, sacrificing the body, Ziemba. And another good stop by Bruno as Florida just looks completely demoralized now as you see Wayvada sort of shaking his head.
That one almost got by him. He kind of picked up from behind him, just snatched that puck up. It was a great save.
I think, too, what's so great to see is you don't see in him any relaxation. He is locked in from the first whistle to now 5:41 left in this game. We've used the word set the tone as a buzzword a lot, but as we approach that, you know what, it's a testament to what kind of statement they're trying to make tonight, like you said.
5-0 is a statement in general to any team at any level. It's been very impressive what FAU's done tonight.
And we'll see how this season evolves as well. They have a very high-depth roster they can pull guys from. In the ACHA, you have roughly 5 games to submit your roster for the season. So you could see this group move around a little bit more, at least in lines and who actually gets the most playing time. But the fact of the matter is they have a lot of now veterans, experienced guys, and winning a national championship should grant you that status. Emilio Stabile off the left pad of Connor Lee, kicked wide. We're in the closing minutes of this one, as there was a huge hit laid out on this near side. Declan Catone and Mahan collided to the roar of this FAU crowd. Still packed and as here as ever. We've got an M3 game coming up in just a little bit. Daniel Tove getting up gingerly right back into the play. He might have taken a stick to the head, and he just got punched in the face. Whoa. Mahan just threw a punch, a left hook right into the face of Daniel Tove, and they got to send him for that one. I don't know how you don't send him away. Before we jump to this, I wonder if the officials picked up that, but Tove went down right away.
Tove just delivered the hit in the corner. Didn't like it. Punched him right in the face.
And I apologize to Florida fans. I believe that's actually Cormac Terry wearing number 35 tonight. But he's going to go to the box, and they're just going to give him 2 minutes.
Just 2 minutes.
That's a very lucky 2 minutes there, because if they have a better look at that, could easily be a 5-minute major. And
a suspension for the next game.
Correct. So it gives FAU their 5th power play. They're 1 for 4 on the night. Brady Baser for Leon Biller, the captain. Nice cross-ice feed, and they score! Jake Murphy's got 2. Back-to-back goals for the junior. 6-zip. So Murphy, I believe assists will go to Stabile and Baser on that one, as it looked like Baser was second in the line. An impressive night for Brady Baser, Jake Murphy, and this entire FAU group. I'm not going to say that word. 6-0 up against Florida. Yeah, you know what I meant. 3:55 to go. And here's Tommy Ziemba from the point. That was deflected wide. But, you know, Florida just looked like they never really got going, West, from the first period on. And being down 3-0 in the second kind of took the wind out of their sails. See on your screen a kerfuffle by Aaron Lentz. We're listening to the assist on that goal. Georgiano cutting back in. Wants one more to close out this game. Not sure who got the secondary assist, but we know one of them goes to Baser. Looking at a 3-point performance tonight, potentially more. Oliverio. And here's a break for the Gators. 2-on-1 develops, and they lose handle of it. A shot comes through anyway towards Bruno from Ronnie Kemley, and he says no.
Bruno showing off quick reflexes on that save. Came at him fast.
Yeah, but defensively, they took away that 2-on-1 in a flash. That looked like prime opportunity for Florida to notch one in this game. Down 6-0 to the reigning champs of AAU, at least, for Tesk. When I say reigning, everyone knows it. You know, they're in ACHA now, but hey, you're still a champion, right?
You're still a champion, and everyone still knows you as that champion, especially in both these teams playing in AAU last year.
This was a Hockey House game to watch. Here's a 2-on-1 for the Owls, and a nice stop by Connor Lee, I think with the knob of his stick. Once again pressing, and the effort still at a high level as we get into the waning minutes of closing time. Put to the slot, into a black sweater, and Florida will get out of the zone. And if you're expecting anything on Sunday, Wes, what do you think is the answer that Florida needs?
Man, Florida just needs to put this game behind them and just focus on the game plan for the next game. That's really all you can do. Learn from your mistakes in this game, because there were plenty, and build on that.
You think they can build off that first period too, right?
Oh, for sure. It was back and forth first period, great game, and then FA just blew it open. Tail of 2 periods, tail of the game.
You can catch that game Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and we will be live in Fort Lauderdale from the Baptist Health Iceplex. Downtown Fort Lauderdale. Maybe the cup will be around. I don't know about you. I want a picture of that thing. I'm a Wings fan, but hey, credit to Florida Panthers on their second straight Stanley Cup.
The Lightning did it first.
Okay, Lightning fan. We'll see, hey, asterisks on that. No,
the
not
COVID
really.
Cup, the COVID Cup.
They deserved it. But somebody from afar, you kind of look at that like, well, short season. Not saying they don't deserve it, but this Florida Panther team last year looked really good. And
they're bringing back basically the same exact team, and they're going to have another great chance at a run.
Who's to say they're not going to repeat? I mean, they signed Marchand another couple years. 56 seconds to go in closing time here. Face off in the Florida zone. It's been a terrific effort from 4 different goal scorers. Brady Baser and Jake Murphy both have 2. They're going to be very proud to hang a banner here and know that on their new home ice, as that one is robbed of Ronan Keenan's first goal as an Owl by Connor Lee, that they did their job well. Florida's going to have to find some offensive power. They were completely shut down tonight. And with 21 seconds to go, we're nearing that mark. It was a terrific pregame ceremony. And the Owls pick up where they left off. A 6-0 win over their rivals from Gainesville. Florida Atlantic and Rocco Brumnow with the shutout performance open this 25-26 campaign in front of their home faithful.
It's a really impressive victory for Florida Atlantic. Up until, besides the first period, just dominating all aspects of the game, being more physical, scoring more, being better at passing, not turning over the puck as much. Just very impressive.
3 goals in the second and third period each. Final shots, Florida 42, FAU 7. Very disparaging. That means a 42 save performance for Rocco Bruno in his first game of the year, the reigning back-to-back goaltender of the year. Florida Atlantic finishes with 27 tonight. 21 stops on 27 shots for Connor Lee. We'll see who's in net for Game 2 on Sunday from the Baptist Health Iceplex. Coming up next, FAU Men's 3 takes on Georgia Tech for an exhibition matchup. But final thoughts in this one, Wes, as we get ready for Sunday.
Definitely we saw the leaders of this team showing out. Biller coming out, putting on a very physical performance, hitting a bunch of players, disrupting play from Florida, showing, maybe not scoring, but showing that he's there and putting an effect on the play, every play. He is definitely one of the leaders.
As they salute this crowd, taps on the ice.
Show of sportsmanship in the middle of the ice.
Absolutely, a group prayer. A couple of Florida players and FAU guys, always great to see that. So that'll sign us off for game number 1. Coming up next, men's 3 FAU versus Georgia Tech to close out the night. Expecting a 9:45 p.m. puck drop. For Wesley Moore, Devin Serra, Mitch Liswith, and our entire FAU production team here on Owl TV, thanks for watching this season opener for the men's 2 side of things. Final score, FAU 6, Florida 0. We'll talk to you on Sunday. Have a good one.